name is Danielle.
My name is Cassidy.
We love you, Glama!
Oh, I love you too, Glama girls. Hi everyone, Glama here with Made with Love by Glama, where everything here is always made and taught by me with love. So it's been a while since I've made a tutorial for Tutorial Tuesday, but we're going to make a messenger bag. Yay! Many of y'all have asked me for a tutorial for a messenger bag, and I just needed to wait until I could come up with a nice and easy, super easy pattern for one, and I think I have. Yay! You only need to know, let me see, how to slip knot, how to make a chain, and how to single crochet, and that's it. So this is the messenger bag that you see on the thumbnail, and actually I might actually include a picture of the one that we're going to be working on today. I'm not sure. I actually haven't made the thumbnail yet, but this is the one that I had planned on using for the thumbnail. This was my trial run, and I think it came out cool. This is how wide, this is the side, and that's how wide it is, and this is the bottom right here. So you're basically, this is going to be all one piece, believe it or not. We're not going to be sewing a bunch of pieces together. It's all one piece that we're going to sew together to make into a messenger bag. And this one, let me see, I believe it measures width-wise. Let me see what it measures. Let me see. It is, wow, it's about 12 inches wide, and I believe it is 10 inches long. I guess that would be height and width. So 12-inch width and 10-inch height. So if you want yours bigger, you're probably just going to need to make your chain longer, and I'll explain that here in a second. But first, I'm going to let you know the nail color that I'm wearing today. It is by LA Colors, and it has a hardener, and there's no name, but it's BCC 589, just in case any of y'all are interested. And I believe I bought this at Dollar Tree in Washington State, so I'm sure y'all have a Dollar Tree wherever you are, so that's what I'm wearing. You really can't tell because of the lighting, but it's more like an orange, has a little bit of orange with a shimmer in it. So anyway, so this is what you'll be needing for today's messenger bag. Color A, color B, an H hook or a 5.0 millimeter, a pair of scissors, 2 stitch markers, and a tapestry needle. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so we're gonna get started. I wanted to show you my messy, this is what goes on in my head. This is the messenger bag drawing and my notes. And then I went ahead so that I could figure out how to teach it to y'all. I thought I was going to take nicer notes, but these still ended up being kind of messy. So anyway, let's see if I can read my notes. Okay, so what we're going to do is get started with color A, which is Red Heart Super Saver in warm brown. And you're going to get your H hook, and we're going to start off with a slip knot. So make your slip knot however you like to make yours. I like to make mine like this. Put my yarn into a little pretzel and then pull up on this strand, and there's my slip knot. Okay, and so now what we're going to do is we're going to chain 51. Okay, if you want your bag to be the same as mine, which is 12 inches this way, then you'll do 51. If you think you want yours longer, then go ahead and measure the chain against you to see how wide you want it. So you might want yours a little wider, maybe 60 or 70. I made it 51 because for my body, I'm only 4'11 and a half, that was wide enough. Anyway, I'm going to chain 51, and to chain, you yarn over, pull the yarn through that loop, yarn over, pull through that loop, and that's a chain. Those are 2 chains. 1, 2. Go ahead and keep doing this until you have 51 chains, or as long as you want your chain to be, okay? And I wanted to explain, I'm talking a little bit louder just because I'm in an RV. A lot of you viewers probably know why I'm in an RV, but just to let y'all know, I'm in an RV, and so the AC is right above me and kind of loud. So if you hear a noise in the background, that's what it is. So alrighty guys, go ahead and make your chain either 51 or as long as you want it. If you want yours to be 60, just go ahead and add 1 to it, okay? Because we're going to do single crochet. So that 1 that you add is going to be the height of the single crochet. So you always add 1. Okay, so I have my 51 chains. Another thing that you can go ahead and get is your row counter, so that you can keep track of how many rows you've done. So okay, now we're going to get started. So to get started, there's that extra 1 that we made. That, remember, we wanted 50 and then we made an extra 1. The reason why you want that extra 1 is because that's the height of your single crochet. So you always chain the height of your stitch. So there's our height. So we're going to go into our second chain from the hook. Okay, yarn over, pull the loop through, and now you've got 2 loops. Yarn over, and there's your single crochet. And we're going to do that all the way down the chain till you get to the end, okay? I'll do a couple with you. I hope the lighting in here is good. I brought my softbox light from Washington, but in the RV there is not a whole lot of room, so I'm in a even more confined space. I don't know if y'all saw the little video of where Glama makes her tutorials. Well, that was very confined. Well, this is even more compact. But we're doing it, aren't we? Okay, so put your hook in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, go through all 2, okay? So go ahead and do this all the way down till you get to the end of your chain, and then I'll meet you back here when I'm close to the end of mine to let you know what to do next. Alrighty guys, have fun! Okay, so I'm getting close to the end here, and I wanted to come back on for any of you new crocheters who might not know how to turn your work. For all you seasoned crocheters, I know you already know how. Okay, so that is my last stitch. Make sure that you have 50 chains, okay? And then meet me back here. Okay, so do you have your 50? I do. Okay, so let's go ahead, and now that we made our single crochet into the very last chain, I like to tighten up my little tail there so it's not loose. Go ahead and yarn over and chain 1, and then turn your work around. And now we're going to be working on the back side. This is the front side. Oh, and I was also going to tell you, you might want a third, what do you call it? Stitch marker to put right here, because you want to kind of keep track of where the front of your beginning project is. I don't usually have to do that because I remember that wherever I started off, my tail is right there. That's usually the front of my project when the tail is on this side. Okay, so now that we chained 1, we're going to turn our work around and we're going to be working in the back, but I wanted to show you the top here. See, there's the V's again. When we did the chain, we only worked on this side of the V. Now we're going to be working through both of them, okay? So what we're going to do is go right back into there, and you're going to yarn over, pull a loop through, you have 2, yarn over and go through 2, and there's your single crochet. So you see how I've got both sides of the V? Okay, let me do a couple with you. So go into right here, see that little divot right there? There's your stitch. Yay! So that's all you do. You just do that all the way down till you get to the other side. Okay, And then when you do your very last stitch, make sure that you do 50 stitches, okay? So you might think that's your last stitch right there, but it's not. That's your very last stitch, okay? So make your last single crochet into there, chain one, and then turn your work around and keep going. We're gonna do this for 48 rows. To get the size of messenger bag that I showed you in the beginning, do it for 48 rows, which is gonna be about 10 to 10.5 inches tall, or in height. This is going to be filmed in a couple days, I think, because since I'm only using daylight, there's not enough room here for me to get my softbox light out. I'm going to be having to just use the daylight, so I might be finished filming it tomorrow. We'll see. I just wanted to let y'all know that I'm so happy to be back with you guys and making tutorials. I really missed it. I'm a little bit nervous because it's been about a month since I made my last tutorial, which was the his and hers coffee cup cozies. And so since then, you know, a lot's gone on. Most of y'all know what's been going on, and so it just feels good to be back with y'all, my crochet friends, because I love y'all and I've missed you, and I hope you enjoy this tutorial. Okay, see ya in 48 rows. Okay, so for all you new, sorry, I'm talking even louder now because it's raining here in Texas. You can hear it on the RV. So for all you new ones, I had said that that would be your last stitch. I wanted to come back and show you. A lot of people might think that this is your last stitch and that you're done. But if you would not do that one, then your work would start angling this way. So you want to go ahead and get into this space right here. That's your 50th stitch. And go ahead and make your single crochet. And then chain one. And then click your row counter, because now you're going to start row 3, okay? And you're going to go right into there. Don't go into this one, go into this one. If you go into there, then your work will start angling that way. So you go right into this spot and start your single crochets. Alrighty guys, I'll see ya when we all have 48 rows. Right now, this is my 3rd row. Okay guys, I'm back, and I told you to make 48 rows, but I'm going to have you make another row, okay? Make a 49th row, and I'll tell you why here in a second, as soon as I get to the end. So go ahead and start your 49th row and then meet me back here. Alright, so I'm at the end of my 49th row, and here's my last stitch. And we're going to stop there. And the reason I wanted to make a 49th, or yeah, make another row, is because I wanted to end on this side of our project with this facing up. So here's the marker that we put to indicate that this was the right side of our project, and here's the tail. And I wanted to end my project up on this corner. The reason I had to make another row, and I didn't have to do that for my other project, is because on my other trial bag, the green one, I didn't do just a regular chain. What I did for my trial bag is I made a single crochet foundation chain is what I did. And when you do a single crochet foundation chain, it's usually about this thick. It almost looks like the height of a half double crochet stitch. So, but I didn't do that this time because I wanted to make it super easy for y'all, and so we just chained regular. But since I didn't have that extra height of the single crochet foundation chain, we needed to make one more row so that we ended up on this side, okay? Because when I did just 48 rows, I ended up over here, and I don't want to end up on this side. I want to be on this side. Like I said, I haven't made tutorials in a while, so I'm a little rusty at it. Okay, so what we're going to do now that you've got your 49th row and you're on this corner with your project facing up, we're going to make 251 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and continue on until you have 251 chains, and then meet me back here. Okay, so I have 251 chains, and hopefully you do too. So now what I want you to do is get your chain, and this is the right side of your chain, this is the wrong side of your chain, or the back side of your chain. Keep your chain facing right side up and follow it all the way along. Okay, now that you know that you're over here and you've kept it all with the right side up, go ahead and put your hook in and keep it like this, and now we're going to attach it. So this is where the chain started, and we're going to attach it onto this end, and we want to make sure that the right side of the chain ends up like this, being attached like that, okay? Because like I said, this is the right side of the project, and so it's facing up, so we want the right side of the chain facing up as well. So what you're going to do is you're going to attach it to the chain one. Remember how at the end of each row you chain one and then you turn your work around, and then that's your first stitch right there? Well, I want you to attach it to the chain one. Don't attach it right there. Attach it over here to the chain one space. Okay, so you might have to kind of open it up a little bit. So there's my first stitch, and I'm going to attach it over here if I can. Let me see if I can do it on camera. Oh, there we go, I did it. Okay, so now we're going to make a slip stitch, okay, to connect it. Okay, so what we're doing is the 251 chains, part of that 251 chains is going to be this, which is one of the side flaps. Okay, this is the front, and that's going to be one of the side flaps, and then the part that we attached over here, that's going to be the side flap of this, and this is going to be the bottom of your bag, and the rest of the chain is going to be the strap. So that's probably really confusing, but you'll see, it's gonna be awesome. All right, guys. Okay, so now that we've made our slip stitch and connected the chain and we didn't twist it, we are going to chain one, okay, and I'm going to put a marker on my chain one. You don't have to, but I always do that just so that I know where, when I'm done with rows, I know where to slip stitch into. So I'm going to slip stitch into that when I get ready to do my next row. So that's my chain one, and so now what I'm going to do is we're going to single crochet on the back loops only. See the V's? Here are the V's right there, see? And we're going to be using just the back loops. So go to your very first stitch. Right here, and single crochet only in the back loops, okay? And the reason we're doing that, I'll show you in a second. Just go ahead and keep, I don't even know if I was in the shot. Let me do a couple more in case I wasn't. Okay, so we're using the back loops only, and you see how it's leaving a little ridge right there? That ridge is what's going to help your bag. This is going to be the bottom of your bag. This is the front, and this will be the bottom, and this will sit nicely on the floor or wherever you want to sit it. So by doing the back loops only, it leaves a ridge and makes the project turn, okay, so that it's a permanent little corner right there. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Right here, see how right there, my bag, here's the bottom. It automatically, you know where the bottom is, because here's the front, here's the bottom, because of that ridge right there. So it automatically stays. So go ahead and just keep doing the back loop only in single crochets, okay? Alrighty, I'll meet you back here when you're at the other end, okay? Right there. I'll meet you back here. Okay, so I only have 2 more stitches of back loop only until I get to the other end. See? So we're going to go right here to the back loop only and make our single crochet. And now that was our last one, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a stitch marker there, and I'm going to move it up each time that I come around. And now we're going to start stitching into the chain. Okay, so here's the very first chain, and we're just going to use the back loop of the chain and make single crochets. Okay, so let me do a couple with you. Hope I'm in the shot. Continue doing that, single crochets all the way till you get to the other end, all 251 stitches of your chain until we get over here to this end, and then meet me here and I'll tell you what to do next. Alrighty guys. Okay, so I've got 2 more stitches to go. I've got this one and that one, and I put a stitch marker on here just because I still do that, just because when I was first starting to crochet I would get confused as to if that was my last stitch or if that was my last stitch, and I used to crochet into that one, which is wrong. It would make my project bigger than it needed to be because it's putting an increase in there. So that's not a stitch. That stitch is already being used by the chain 1 right there. Okay, so that's the chain 1 that we're going to slip stitch into to join this second row, or to join this first row, I'm sorry. Okay, so that's going to be our last stitch, not that one. And so you might want to also put a stitch marker on there if you think you need to. So okay, let me do these last 2 stitches. And I'm going to do it with the stitch marker in there. Okay, and so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to do this for every single row. Now I'm going to take it out and put it up here, and that way I'll know next time that that's my last stitch as well. Okay, so now that we've moved that stitch marker, I'm going to slip stitch right there. Okay, so this one I will take the stitch marker out of just to make it easier. And I hope I'm in the shot. Okay, so let's make a slip stitch. Okay, so now that I've made the slip stitch, I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to put the stitch marker right back into that chain 1 so that I know that that's where I'm going to slip stitch into at the end of my second row. Okay, so now that we've chained 1, we're going to go right into our next stitch with a single crochet. And now we're starting row 2 of this portion of our bag. Okay, so just go ahead and do this, and we are going to use both loops now. We only use the back loops on that one row, okay, on the first row. Now we're going to use both loops, front and back. Alright, so do this all the way around. When you get over here to the other end of the bag, you might want to do what I'm doing and stitch into it, and then put your marker onto the next row, and then keep on going all through the strap here, all through the chains, until you get back around to this end. And then you're going to do the same thing we just did. You're going to stitch into the last stitch and then you're going to slip stitch into that one, and then you're going to chain 1, and after the chain 1 you put your stitch marker back on that chain 1 so that you know where to slip stitch next, and then you'll be on row 3. And so you're going to do this until you have 12 rows, and that's going to determine the width of the bottom of your bag and the width of the sides of your bag. Okay, so if you want yours deeper, go ahead and make it more than 12 rows, but I'm gonna meet you back here when I'm on my 12th row. Okay, alrighty guys, have fun. Okay, so I'm coming to the end of row 12 finally for the strap part, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish it on camera with you. here's my last stitch. Okay, so that was my last stitch, and now we're going to slip stitch right there. Okay, and then we're going to chain 1. Okay, so just like we did here, see that little ridge that we made? Just like we did that when we did the back loop only, that's what made the little ridge, and that's what's making it automatically fold. You see right there? We're going to do the same thing with this back flap, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. And we're going to go into the first stitch, which is right there, but we're only going to go into the back loop, okay? So back loop only. Okay, so we're going to do that to all of the stitches across. Until we get to the other marker. Okay, so that's why I've been moving that marker up, so that I would know when to stop making that part of the flap. Okay, so go ahead and do back loop only all the way till you get to this marker. And if you haven't been putting a marker there, then just follow right here, this side of the front flap. Just follow it over to here, and that's where you'll stop making your back part of your bag. Okay, alrighty, so go ahead and do that. Do back loop only, and then let's meet back here. Okay, so I just have a couple more stitches. Back loop only. And there is the stitch with the stitch marker. So I'm done with that. And now I probably don't even need this stitch marker anymore, because now I know where my last stitch is going to be when I come back this way. Okay, so now that you've done that, go ahead and chain 1, and we're going to turn our work around. Sorry, let me get out of shot here for a second. And now we're going to do single crochets, but we're going to do both sides of the V, okay? Both loops. We're not going to just do back loop or front loop, okay? We're going to go right back into here and make single crochets all the way down till we get to the other marker, okay? So at the end, when you get to this side over here, you should have 50 stitches. And when you get over here, I guess I didn't really need to put that marker there, because that's not what we're going to stitch into. We're going to stitch right into there. But let me go ahead and do this with you, and then I'll get back on camera when I'm at the end of this row, okay? So now we're going to zero out our counter, our row counter, if you're using one, and this will be row 2 of our back part, okay? So row 1 was the row where we did the back loop only, and now this is row 2. We're working on 2, and then I will meet you back here when I get close to the end of row 2. Alrighty. Okay, I'm back, and I have a couple more stitches to go, but I wanted to show you, I rolled up my the strap part of it, and I just put a hairband around it so that it's not, you know, all over the place when I'm working on this part, because it just gets in the way. So you can do the same if you'd like. It does make it a little easier. Okay, so I've got a couple stitches to go. Here's my last one. Okay. And that marker was to show me where the chain 1 was, and so now I don't need that anymore. And so now we're going to chain 1, and we're going to turn our work around, and we're going to work the other way now, okay? Let me see. I'm going to go right into there, going through both loops, both sides of the V, making single crochets all the way till we get to the other side, okay? All the way till we get to here. When you get there, stitch into it, chain 1, and then turn your work around. And remember, that is not your last stitch. That is your last stitch right there, okay? And then chain 1, turn your work around, and we're going to do this until we have 50 rows for the back part of our messenger bag. So I also wanted to show you, so remember I said this is the bottom part, so there's the ridge that, see right there like that. This is the front of the bag. This is the ridge that we made by doing the back loop only. This is the bottom, and now we have another ridge right there, and so now this is going to be the back part of our bag. Pretty nifty, right? So now if you guys have a design pattern in mind for anything that requires a fold or a bend like this, now you know how to do it. Just go through the back loop only, and it will fold it like that, and it'll be like a permanent little bend, little fold. Alright guys, go ahead and keep doing this back and forth, single crochets. Make sure you have 50 stitches across, just like the other flap, just like the front of the bag, and make your 50 rows, and then meet me back here and we'll continue on from there. This is my 50th row of the back part of our messenger bag, and I'm going to do the last stitch, okay, and then I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to turn my work around, okay, and we're going to do back loops only, because now we want, this is gonna, what we're gonna make now is the flap that closes over our messenger bag, okay? And so we want it to have a natural bend, a natural corner, like we did for the bottom part down here. Remember how we left that little ridge so that the bottom sits, so it's always a nice little bend or a nice little fold there. So we want to do that up here as well. All right, so now we're just going to use back loops only for one row. Okay. Alright, so you're just going to continue on that way and see how it already it gives it a natural little bend. See? It gives it a natural little corner. So the flap will always be flapped over on the bag. Alright, so go ahead and do that all the way across. And when you get to this end, your last back loop only stitch, chain 1, turn your work around, and you're going to continue to single crochet using both loops this time. We're only doing the back loop on this first row. Okay, so you can go ahead and zero out your row counter as well if you're using it. And I probably won't come back on camera until my messenger bag flap is finished. So I wanted to let you know that this is the bottom of my bag, and this is how long the flap goes to. So if you want to make yours this long right here, I did it for 33 rows. If you want yours longer, if you want yours to come all the way down, then go ahead and keep making rows until you're satisfied with the size of the flap or the length of it. You may want it shorter. Here's the bottom right here. You may want it shorter, you may want it the same as me, or you may want it longer. So just letting you know that I did 33 rows for the flap that I made for our messenger bag. So let me show you the pattern that I used. I did 11 rows of the green, color A, and then for color B, I did 1 row, and then I did 2 rows of green, and then I increased color B by 1 row, so I did 1, and then 2, and then 2 here, and then 3, and then 2, and then 4, and then 2, and then 5, and then 2, and then 6. And then I put a single crochet border all around the whole thing. But I might not make the same pattern on the bag that I'm making with you now, so I don't know which design I'm going to do. I still haven't thought about that. But you can follow this pattern if you want, or you can come up with your own pattern. So I want to show you how to change colors, just in case you decide that you do want to change color, okay? I'm going to show you how I do it. There are several ways out there to do it, but I want to show you the way I do it. Right before my last stitch, okay? So what I do is I go in for my last stitch, and then I yarn over, and when I have 2 loops on my hook, that's when I change colors. Let me grab my second color. I can find the end. Here we go. Alright, so here's the end of my second color, and so rather than yarning over with color A, I yarn over with color B. Okay? And it gives you a nice, clean transition. And so what I do at this point is I tie color B and color A together, and I only do that once. You can make a knot if you want, but I just tie it together one time. And then what you would do is you would cut the yarn, and then what I would do is I would chain 1, and now I would turn my work around, and see how nice that is? So now let's turn our work around, and I'm going to incorporate that tail when I make my very first stitch, okay? I'm going to incorporate color A tail and color B. Okay, and that's how you do it. And that's how Glama does it. So let's say that I did cut the tail for color A, and here's the end of color B. Let me continue on till color B is done. The tail of it anyway. Okay, so there's the end of it, and I don't want to go too much further because then it'll just be too short. So what I do is when I'm ready to stop incorporating the 2 tails, I just push it this way. If this is the wrong side, I push it this way. If this is the right side, I push it that way, okay? Like that. Let's say this is the right side. And you see, it's a nice clean finish. And then at the end, you just go and you just knit that down close. And if this is the wrong side, then I would push it forward, and I would continue on, and then I would snip this down low, okay? So this is the one that I made, and if I turn it to the wrong side, you'll see all the tails. This is where I changed the color, and then I incorporated the tail into the row, and I still need to go and just cut these, which is very simple because then it's not going to unravel because I've already incorporated that tail that much. Okay, so you want to make sure to leave these on the inside. So that's what I mean about pushing the tails on the inside when you're incorporating it. Okay, because if you were to do it on the outside, there is a chance that it might fray or something, and you don't want the fray to be on the outside part. Okay, so that's how Glama changes color. So if you know of a different way, awesome, do it your way. But that's how I do it for all you beginners. But for now, I'm not ready to change colors. Alrighty guys, so now that you know what to do, how to make the flap of your messenger bag, the closure, and you know how to change colors, I'm excited to see what kind of design you use, or maybe you're going to leave yours a solid color. But I'll be back when we are done with the 33 rows for our messenger bag closure flap, whatever you want to call it. Alrighty guys, have fun. Okay, so I'm pretty much done with the design of the bag, and this is the design that I did. So it is different than the green one that I initially made. I just wanted to not necessarily make a his and hers, but I just wanted to do different designs to give y'all different options. but it kind of does look like a his and hers. However, I would use this one as well. So this one's kind of co-ed. Alright, so I ended up doing from right here where we did the back loop onlys, I ended up doing 18 rows of color A, and then 2 rows of this, 2 rows of that, 7 rows of this, 2, and then I did 6 rows of this. Altogether, from where we started the back loop only to here, I did 40 rows. Okay, so just so you know, in case you want yours to look like this. And right here is the bottom part, so this is where the flap would go. And now I'm trying to decide if I want to do a brown, dark brown border along here, or if I want to do a tan one. I'm thinking I want to do a dark brown to kind of break up the monotony of that, but I don't know. I might do the tan. So anyway, here's what it looks like. There's the little ridge. See how nicely it flaps over because we did the back loop only. And let me see if I can get this in the camera. Here's the ridge, or the back loop only row that we did there and there, and see how it makes it nice and flat. You can sit it down on a floor, on a table. It's going to be really nice. And this right here is the strap. So the way we're going to put it together is this is going to be the side. So we're going to sew the front of the bag to the side right here, and then the back of the bag to this part of the strap right there. We're going to do it from the inside, and then the rest of it will be a strap. And then we're going to do the same thing on this side. We're going to take the strap that we made and bring it up, and we're going to sew the side of that to the front of the bag. We're going to sew the back of the bag to the side of the strap right there. And then of course this rest of the chain that we made where we did 12 rows, all that's going to be the strap for our shoulder. So this is an over the body type of a messenger bag where it crosses over your body. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is, I think I just decided, I'm going to make the whole border in color A. So let me finish off my project. I didn't finish it off because I hadn't decided what I wanted to do. So there's my last stitch on row 40, and I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to cut it there. Okay, and now I'm just going to pull that through, snug down that knot, and voila, we're done. If you don't want to put a border on yours, you don't have to, then you're pretty much done. You just need to sew up the sides. But I'm going to do a border, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start it from, let me see if I can get all of it in the camera. Okay, so what I'm going to do for the border is I'm going to start right here, and I'm going to make single crochets all the way around like this, all the way around, making single crochets. However, let me tell you, when you get to the corner, that stitch right there, you're going to put 3 stitches in there, because that's what helps you, that's what helps it make a nice curve of a turn. It turns the project for you, turns the row for you. And then we're going to continue making single crochets, and then you're going to put 3 single crochets in this corner, continue on down making single crochets till you get to right here where the strap is. Okay, I think I'm going to tie it off there, and then I'm going to come over here to the front of the bag, and I'm going to start with my border right there in the corner, make single crochets, put 3 in the corner there, single crochets, 3 in the corner there, single crochets, all the way till we get to where the strap is here. Okay, so I'm back. This is the right side of our bag. Okay, this is the right side, and that's the wrong side. Okay, and I want to start my single crochet border right here in the corner, right there. Okay, I'm going to start mine right in here, and I'm going to do it from, I'm going to go in from the front side, because I want, like I said, there's a right and a wrong side to the single crochets, and so I want the right side to be on the right side of the actual bag. So I thought I would come and show you how I'm going to start my border. Let me see if I can hold it up so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm just going to start a new yarn. I'm going to chain one, and then I'm just going to start making single crochets. Okay, so basically you're going to make a single crochet right there in that little stitch right there, and then right there, and then there, and then there, and then there. A lot of times I get emails saying, how do I know on the sides where to make my stitches? And I've always called these, I don't know if you can see, I've always called these stitches right there, I've always called them dashes, because to me they look like little dashes. So I'm going to put a single crochet into the place right there where the little divot is, and then I'm going to put one in the row where the dashes is, and then where the divot is, and then where the dashes is. Let me do a couple with you so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to incorporate my tail so that I don't have to use my tapestry needle later. Okay, so now I'm going into the stitch where the divot is, and then I'm going to do one right here where the row of dashes is. It's hard to do it and hold my project up at the same time. Okay, see ya when your border's done. Okay, so this is what your project should be looking like, the shape of it right here at the end after you've done your border and everything. So yeah, it's a little different, right? But that's because we haven't put it together yet. Okay, so this is where I left off with my border, and it's still attached to the skein, to the working skein that I'm using, because I'm going to keep it that way, because there's several ways to sew things together. You can either do it with a tapestry needle and use whip stitches, or you can do it with a crochet hook. And I normally do it with a tapestry needle and make whip stitches for things that don't need to be this sturdy or durable. But because this is a bag and you're probably going to be putting heavier things in it, we want the seams to be sturdier. So I'm going to use the crochet hook method. Okay, leave our yarn to the wrong side. Put the right sides together. Okay, and now take your strap. Here's the strap, one side of the strap, and here we go. And so here's the bottom there, here's the top of the front part of the messenger bag, and I'm going to show you how I crochet it together. So you want to make sure to keep your stitches lined up right there. See how that's lined up with that's lined up with this, and so forth. Okay, I'm going to make single crochets. I'm going to go through both sides of the V, and I'm going to go find the other side over here and just make single crochets, and this makes your bag nice and sturdy. Okay, so just keep doing this all the way till you get to the top, matching the stitch with the chain, and do this all the way up till you get to this side. Okay, so I just finished that side that I started with you, and I'm almost finished. I wanted to finish this row with you since I started it with you, so I'm going in there. And then I'm going over to this side, single crocheting. Then I'm going to this side, I'm going over here, single crocheting. And then do you remember where we did the 1, 2, and 3? I'm also going to go into the, remember we did 3 single crochets on the border in that one stitch. So that's the first single crochet that we did, and that's the second one, the middle one. I'm going to go into the middle one and then stop there. Okay, and then for reinforcement, I'm going to go and do it again, just because that's the opening of the bag and I want that to be nice and strong. Okay, and then, so I'm done here. I'm going to chain 1. I'm going to cut my work here. Let me see, where's my scissors? I'm going to leave myself a tail so that I can weave that in, pull that through. Okay, now I'm going to do the other side. So, okay, and don't forget, we're working on, we're putting the right sides together, okay? So we're going to take the back part and this side of the strap now. See, we already sewed that. I'm going to take this side of the strap now, and we're going to get started over here now. I don't know if y'all want to use a needle, tapestry needle, and sew your bag together. That might be easier for you, especially if you're a beginner. So I'm going to start over here, and I'm going to go over to the other side. Yeah, I think I am. Start a new piece of yarn. Okay, and I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to go right back in there, back to the other side, and make a single crochet. And now I'm just going to keep doing what I did on this side. I'm going to line up the stitches, and then just do that all the way till you get to the top. Here it's not going to be as obvious where to stop. This is the back part, and then this is where we did our back loop only, and then we started the flap. So the way you know where to stop stitching this side of the strap and the back part together is look for the ridge that you made. That's where you made your back loop only. You're going to stop there, okay? Attach it all the way to there and then stop, okay? And then this is the flap. Alrighty guys, I think I explained it well enough. So now the strap is attached to the front side and the back side. Yay! See? There's the back side. That also has the flap part. This is the front side. That stops right here. Okay, and this is the inside. This is what the inside of the bag looks like. Now you're going to come to this side and you're going to repeat what you just did. Let me show you what it's going to look like when I turn this side inside out. Okay, so here's the bottom of the bag. Okay, here's the side of the bag. So let's pretend that this side is already done, even though it's not. Here's our strap, and here's the flap, here's the front, here's the back, here's the flap, and we're going to pull the flap over, and there's your bag. Yay! See, that's what it looks like over here on this end. See, we sewed that and that together, and this is the part of the chain that we made, which is now the strap, and voila! Your messenger bag is done once you do that other side. And I have an idea to strengthen the strap in case it starts to stretch on you, which I don't think it will, but just in case, what I was thinking is I was going to take my tapestry needle and either with the contrasting color, I was just going to go in and out, weave a thread all the way in and out to the other side, and then I was going to make a knot on this side, and that way that weaving that in and out will make it not stretch. I was going to do one here, maybe one over here, one over here, one over here. I was going to do like 4 or 5 different strands of yarn that I weave in and out of here. And you can do it in the same color if you don't want that to show, or you can use a contrasting color, and that might be a cool design. And you might not have to go into each and in and out of each and every one. Maybe you want to come in through here, and maybe you want to skip a couple and you want to go in through there. But either way, doing the in and out weaving of the yarn will actually, if you do one here, 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 it'll actually keep it from stretching. But this actually looks like it's pretty sturdy and it's not going to stretch much. Alrighty guys, I had so much fun making this messenger bag with you. This was a request by 2 or 3 different people. I finally got around to it. I believe it was requested like, let me see, maybe 6 months ago, and I'm just now getting to it. So I'm sorry about that, but hey, you've got it now, yay! Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed crocheting with you, and don't forget to come back and crochet other projects with me. I totally enjoy y'all. I love y'all. And I just want to thank all of y'all that have left comments and emails that you say you no longer hit the skip ad button. Yay! Because that actually does help me if you don't hit the skip ad button, if you watch the commercials all the way through to the end. It helps me be able to keep bringing these tutorials to you for free. So thank all of y'all that have not hit the skip ad button. Okay? Alrighty guys, thank you so much once again for visiting me here at Made with Love by Glama, where everything here is always made and taught by me with love. Bye!
Thank you for watching our Glama's channel.